Hello everyone and welcome to Tharsis, a space survival digital board style game in which we are trying to take a ship all the way to Mars. This game features dice rolling, tragedy, hard decisions, and cannibalism if we're lucky. We are going to take 4 crew members of the available crew on the Iktomi, hopefully all the way to Mars. I think we'll stick with the base set of 4. I have unlocked Joy Lee, but we'll stick with the base 4 for now. We'll leave the difficulty on normal since the game is hard enough. As you can see from the pilot, I haven't actually beaten the game yet. So, Kayla Jones, Allison Silva, Pakal Lavorin, and Jean Aloa are going to attempt this expedition. Let's go ahead and view the tutorial because it sets up the story. There are some video tutorials available on the website as well if you're interested in that sort of thing. This briefing will give us an idea of how to command the crew and utilize the functions on the Iktomi. The journey is about halfway over, indicated at the top here. Originally, I suppose, it was 20 weeks. But it is still useful to have a refresher course. Our ultimate goal is to reach Mars. We'll just skip through a bunch of this and we'll explain it as we go. So in the upper left is our ship's health. The white pips indicate how healthy it is, and red pips indicate impending damage. At the end of the round, any impending damage still left will reduce the ship's health. This impending damage comes from an event on the ship, a tank inspection in this case. The events have a cost in die pips, some hazard die associated with them, and some form of damage, either to the ship or the crew, or modules of the ship itself. In this tutorial, we're going to be controlling J. Cross, our botanist, who has a fair amount of health, indicated on the right, a stress level, about half, indicated on the left, and a number of dice indicated at the bottom here. He currently has 4. We're going to use J Cross to overcome this event, or inspect this tank. We roll our dice, 4. In order to perform this action, we need 1 pip from any die to perform this repair. So we can drag our 2, and the event is complete. At this module, we can gain some food, and our botanist has a class ability which also gives us food. If we put 1 or more pips worth of a single die here, we will get a food. If we put another die with 1 or more value in the module, we will get 4 food. So we just drag those here and there. And now we have the research track. There are all 6 positions, and when we drag a die down here, it fills one of those positions. We now cannot put any more 6s on the research track. Each filled position of the research track gives us 1 research, which we can use on these cards to get the ability indicated on the card, which will probably become fairly obvious very soon. In the upper right, we have a number of assists, which overcome hazard die, and some amount of food. Since this is the pantry module, we actually have a lot of food. J. Cross, however, doesn't really have a whole lot left to do here. Mapia Musgrave is also in the module working on some stuff, our biologist. But they can't really act right now, so we'll finish J. Cross's deployment and detect new events. Meteoroid proximity alert. This doesn't sound very good. Ooh, there goes... Well, that was quite loud. There goes our pantry. And Musgrave and J. Cross. Wait, why can't we turn back? I feel like that's a reasonable thing to do. A cluster of micrometeoroids have crippled the Iktomi and killed 2 crew. J. Cross has been ejected into space, and Mapia Musgrave suffered a fatal injury. Our new goal is to survive, ultimately to reach Mars as well. So this is our main board. The Iktomi has a number of modules: flight control, greenhouse life support, laboratory, medical bay, maintenance, and operations. All of which, like the pantry did, have some module ability. We can repair the ship in maintenance, heal our people at the medical bay, increase our assists in the laboratory, regain dice on any particular unit at life support, reduce the stress of a unit at operations, harvest some food in the greenhouse, and allow for no movement damage at flight control, which will take some explaining in just a moment. So we have our 4 crew members here, and 2 events to overcome. We have 10 weeks left to reach Mars. We absolutely have to deal with this event, or our ship will take 2 damage. Now that's not the end of the world, because we have 4 health. If we don't take care of this meteoroid strike, everyone will lose 1 health. At our meteoroid strike, the hazard die indicate a stasis effect with the blue die here. A stasis effect means that if we roll a 3 or a 1 in this event, any die that show those values can't be re-rolled. Everyone normally gets 1 reroll, and our specialist gets 2 rerolls. Our mechanic can heal the ship with their class ability. The captain can give other people extra die with their ability, and the doctor can heal other people as would be expected. Now our doctor has 4 dice to overcome 12 pips, which is fairly reasonable. That's about average. So I think that's what Kayla here is going to end up doing, fixing the ABFJ. No idea what that is, but it needs to be fixed. On our other units, we have 2, 4, 5 dice worth of pips, which would be about 30. It's unlikely they're going to fully overcome this event. But we can give it a shot for sure. Our specialist can reroll some die in an ability to get better odds on that. So Kayla here is going to deploy to this event. We'll roll all of her dice. Every time you use a character to try to overcome an event, they lose 1 die, which they can get back with food or the captain's class ability. Now, we did roll pretty well with a 5-4-4. On a 3, Kayla here would be injured by 1 point per 3 rolled. But a 1 is not very good. We do have 14 points available, and I think we're going to end up just doing that. On this module, if we had 2 dice of equal value, we could put them in the first and second slots. The first slot does nothing, the second gives our ship 2 health. A third of the same value would give us an additional ship health for a total of 3 if we could fill this all the way up. That's pretty unlikely. We could hold dice down here if we wanted to just see what we could get through all of our rolls and apportion them as we desire. In this case, however, I think our remaining 1 goes into research to give us 1 point. This could give us 1 additional assist, or we could re-roll all of these cards to get new possibilities. But Kayla can't really do a whole lot else. She is kind of low on health, so I would like to heal her at some point. But this event is done and dusted. Our captain's ability relies on having multiple people in the same module. That said, our mechanic can heal the ship if they can roll a 5 or better and not have a better use for that die. Our specialist just gets rerolls, so it's usually best to use them first. In this case, at least. In the operations module, at a 5 or greater pip count on 1 die, we could reduce the stress of Alison Silva. She's not very stressed, So we'll just roll. And that's quite a good result. An 11 will bring us down to 16. And fantastic job. Our mechanic will be the next in line. He only has 2 dice, so there's no way he overcomes this event. On a 3 or a 1, that die will be held in place. We did not roll any of those. A 5 is definitely worth just sticking in the repair. And we'll re-roll the other one in hopes of getting a better result. A 4 is pretty good. We still won't be able to fully overcome this event because our captain over here only has 1 die for a maximum of 6 pips, and we have 7 value to go. We can't really use cards to deal with this situation. Sometimes you can get cards that actually help you simply repair a particular facility, or any facility, I suppose. So it looks like we're going to suffer 1 health on all of our characters because, wow, that's actually fairly poor. Our assist overcame the stasis for this 1 roll, meaning that we can re-roll this die, which is pretty good. 1 extra point. At this point, it might be worth putting this into research to give us assist in the future. But we could also just put this into repair so that the next person has a really good shot at just overcoming this with 1 shot. 1 die. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Now that all of our people have had a turn, the round ends. Everyone takes 1 damage.
The crew's and my own. But if I can't lead them, we're all dead. I need to get it together.
That's probably true. At the end of the round, after all of our people have taken their turns, we have to choose a side project. We have 9 weeks left to Mars. Alison Silva and Pakal Lavorin say, all right, team, let's make sure we're getting all this work done safely. No sense putting ourselves in even more danger. This would give us +2 assist. We get 1 at the start of the turn. So this would put us at the maximum of 3. This would stress out these 2 characters. In this case, us, just being Allison and Pakal. Kayla and Jean have other ideas. If I have to sift through some buggy code one more time, I am going to smash my fist through the monitor. I understand. Solve these so work doesn't get lost. This would also give us +2 assist, but the ship would take damage. We can view our ship and it has 4 health, which is quite good. I don't want to harm the ship, and this only stresses out some fairly low stress characters. Nobody's particularly stressed right now, but it is something that we'll have to keep an eye on. As these characters get stressed, these decisions start becoming poorer and poorer. When the pantry was destroyed, we lost most of our packaged rations. Additional food can be produced in the greenhouse, but only in small batches. Carefully dole out the limited supplies to those in need. We have 1 food remaining, which will give 3 dice to 1 person. Allison, Pakal, and Jean all need dice. When this is done, we'll go back to the ship, and more events will crop up. Generally, I like giving dice to Alison Silva because she is quite handy at overcoming those events by getting high rolls. Pakal can heal the ship, which is also a really good candidate for dice. Jean, our captain, can actually give other characters dice, but they have to be in the same module at the time that we invoke the ability. So while that's kind of important, it's between Allison and Pakal right now. Kayla still has a fair amount, and she can heal others, which we do need to some extent. But I want to be able to take care of the events that crop up so that our other characters have the opportunity to deal in particular modules. 15 and 10 isn't terrible. We can theoretically overcome this 15. But we have a void hazard. If we roll a 1, the die that rolled the 1 simply disintegrates, voids itself. We could take Allison and move to this, but she would lose 2 health by moving through this event and this event. Every event that these characters move through causes them to take 1 damage, unless there is a no movement damage ability in play. Generally, that's not that big a deal. Pakal here has a decent chance of simply overcoming this event. So we're going to give that a shot, and if not, Jean probably will be able to finish the job. A 6 is fantastic. That is done. These 3 die would probably be better served on this 10. Allison can deal with the 15 much more readily, but that would cause someone to take at least 1 damage, which I'm not particularly fond of. So how do we deal with this? Well, I think Kayla has to deal with this EATCS failure. And we can move Allison up to this AC damage. And then Jean can hopefully either finish off one of these events or operate in a module. Not quite sure which one yet. Probably the laboratory. On the other hand, if Allison can fully deal with this event, our captain could come here and either regain her own dice or give some to Allison, and I think that's pretty beneficial. Let's see how Kayla shakes out here. A 3 is a stasis, a 1 simply goes away, but we have assists. If we roll a 1, hopefully it will not be a problem. Our assist has dealt with that hazard, and we'll probably re-roll that one. A 6 and a 4 are very nice. And this needs to be a 5 or a 6, not a 1. But it's a 1. We can't really put that in research. We could put it into the ship repair, but it's unlikely to help. Or we could simply apply it to the repair. I think that's our best option right now. That way, Jean here can move to the EATCS fail and deal with it. Allison is very likely to be able to deal with this AC damage on her own. However, any 3 that we roll, in this case, is assisted away. But now, now that we're out of assists, any 3 that is rolled will poof into the sunset. So we have a 3 left over after this. Our 5, 4, and 1 account for the 10. And we could put this into research. And I think that's fairly beneficial. Getting some assists might actually be a major difference in our success or failure. So with nothing else to do and 1 die remaining, we're going to help out Kayla here. And not roll a 1. A 5 is fantastic. This deals with the event, and nothing bad happens this whole week.
I let my fear get the better of me, but the others have proven me wrong. I'm proud of how the crew has come together. I think we might actually have a chance.
You say that now. Allison and Pakal have joined up to get 1 dice for all the crew, a 4 value in dice, but they would take enough damage to kill them. We're all a mess. We need to perk up. Just look at us, a bunch of droopy-eyed, overpaid losers who couldn't turn a wrench to save our lives. Actually, in this case, this would literally kill you both. Saving your lives means not choosing this option. Kayla and Jean think we've got to stay healthy. We'll only make it as a team. I'm inclined to agree with them, mostly because this doesn't kill Allison and Pakal. This will halve our ship's health, But everybody will be in a better position health-wise. 4 health is almost maximum. So that's going to be our choice. We have no food. And all of our people are in a poor position. And we're going to have to deal with more events. 22, 9, and 12 is a lot. And we have a lot of injury die here. On a 3, someone will take 2 damage, I believe. But if we don't overcome this event, everybody loses 2 health. If we don't overcome the PCA errors, everyone loses 1 dice. Except Pakal, who can't be reduced below 1. Our captain is in a similar position. We have a BCDU fail, which will injure the ship by 1 and hurt people on a 5. I don't think it's literally possible for us to overcome all of this. We only have 3 dice here to overcome 22. That's only 18 maximum points if they all roll 6s. We can only move Pakal over there if we overcome this event, but it's got 9 value and he only has 1 die. Allison is probably going to have to move to the PCA error. With an 18, it's possible for her to overcome that one. We can stand to lose 1 ship health, but it's not very good. We're not going to be able to repair the ship on this round. Technically, none of this will kill us. Let's deal with the isolation fail. And how do we want to approach this? Everyone is reasonably healthy. So let's let Jean go first. She has the most health. Just don't roll a 3. Exactly. Don't roll that. Well, we're going to need better than a 3. A 5 is fine. I think we're going to use the override here for 2 science to give us 2 assists, so that we don't end up taking more damage. Pakal here is going to certainly have to deal with the BCDU fail. And I don't want him to lose health either. Ah, good. A 5 would have actually gotten one of our assists away. So, Kayla, I need you to do 12 points here. Alternately, if we roll doubles, which we did not, we could repair the ship by 2. This reduces our repair to a 7, which is not bad. That's actually pretty darn good. I would like to get some research for this energy boost and get a lot of dice for 1 crew member, but I don't think that's going to be possible. Now, basically, we can overcome any event that we desire, but we have to choose 1 because Allison here can only go to 1 place. Minus 2 health for all is real bad. But that would put Allison and Kayla and Pakal basically in the same position they were in last time. That's not necessarily the end of the world. Minus 1 dice for all really only affects Allison. We're not going to be able to get any food, so it does really hurt Allison. But I think I would like to keep the ship healthy and potentially reduce Allison's stress, because I don't want her to be making poor decisions, and she and Pakal are really the only stressed people. Okay, we used one of our assists to overcome the injury on this 5, and we need 3 repair. We could... I think what we're going to do, in fact, is re-roll these 2s. We know we can overcome the repair, even if we roll double 1s. And that's pretty good. I was hoping for a 3 or 4, to be honest. And we might still be able to do that. Okay, a 5 is fantastic. That allows us to repair, we can reduce this unit's stress, and we can put some towards research. There is a lot that's going to go wrong when we click Finish Deployment here. Everyone's going to lose some health. And Allison here is going to lose 1 die, which is bad.
Your food stores. It looks grim. We lost more than half our supplies with the module. If we don't find some creative solutions, we'll starve before we ever reach Mars.
This is true. Pakal is quite stressed out. And I think that leads to more minus health or minus ship, rather than simply stressing out the units more. I've suffered through fire, electrical, and even chemical burns from everything going wrong. These dangerous situations need to stop. Well, while that is true, we're all a mess. We need to perk up. Just look at us, a bunch of droopy-eyed overpaid losers who couldn't turn a wrench to save our lives. Weren't they just saying this last turn? Huh. So we could heal the ship, but take Allison and Pakal very near unto death. Or we could get 1 dice for all the crew and minus 2 health for Kayla and Jean. This kills the Kayla. Jean would be fine, and if we could drag Kayla onto Allison and Pakal's side, it would very much be worth it. But I don't want to kill Kayla, at least not yet. So I think it's going to have to be taking Allison and Pakal very near to death and healing the ship for 2. However, this will cause 10% stress for Kayla and Jean. That's not necessarily problematic. They're not all that stressed right now. But if we chose this, well, Kayla would die. But Jean would have an extra dice, and she wouldn't be as stressed. That's not going to happen. With the limited supplies aboard, it is unclear if we can maintain our strength for the long trip to Mars. There is another option, ... The body of Mapia is still in the medical bay and has been well preserved. What is more important, the mission or our humanity? Well, since everyone is down to 1 die, I'm thinking the mission. We can take a delicious bite of Mapia steak. If we do that, they will gain 2 dice, but their maximum health, not their current health, will be reduced by 1. Everyone still has their maximum health, so that's not too problematic. Now we have to figure out who actually gets these things. I think our doctor is going to become important. Pakal is going to be less important since we have a lot of ship health. So I think we're going to do it this way. Now, since we ran out of Mapia steaks, we can cannibalize Jean here, or potentially somebody else, to get some more steaks. We're not quite in that desperate a position yet, but we have 7 whole weeks left, and if we can't get some food, that's gonna be a real problem. We certainly have a lot to overcome now, but we're actually better equipped to deal with it now. Except, of course, that there are injury die on most of these things, and almost everybody is very near to death. We can afford for the ship to take some damage. We cannot afford -2 health for everyone. Or, frankly, -1 health for everyone. If Pakal and Allison die, this whole thing goes belly up. -1 dice all is bad, but it's not the end of the world. If we had somebody up here at flight control, we could deal with the -2 health and the -1 health. We have 1 assist, and I think, although I really do want the energy boost, I'm going to get an assist. Maybe. Let's see how Jean here deals with this situation. I would really like to get Kayla over to Pakal and or Allison. Our captain has to deal with this situation, I think. Now, she has 3 dice. Just don't roll 3s. Since she has tasted of Mapia's flesh, we have bloody, bloody die. Nom 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 nom. We can bank this 4 into research, and this 4, and that will overcome our event. One option that we have is to put this 2 into ship repair, or research. Or we can re-roll it and hope that it's a 5 or better to give Kayla even more die. It doesn't hurt us at this point to re-roll. Unless it's a 6 and we want research. So instead, it's a 2 again, and I think the research is going to prove more beneficial. Jean has nothing left to do, so off we go. Kayla, I think, might have to deal with this situation. I would really like it if Kayla could come down here, but that would put her at 1 point to death, and this injury die could actually kill her. We are going to need somebody to get up here to this H high. And that might not actually be possible. We have 1 assist, and Pakal only has 1 die. We can use our research to get a hack for 1 assist, and I think the way that we're going to do it is... what? Allison is unlikely to overcome this event on her own. She has 3 dice for 18 possible points on 17. She would have to roll triple 6s. So it might actually be worth it for Allison and Pakal to try to deal with this situation, and for Kayla to come here and try to heal them. They can't move away from this position or they will both die. So Allison is going to deploy here, and don't roll more than 1 5 and no 2s. If you're going to roll a 5, now is the time to do it. 3s are on the border of good enough. But not actually good enough. Okay, we did get an assist, and that's very good. This puts us at an 8. We have no more assists. If she rolls this 2 into a 5, Allison is dead, so don't do that. Oh, a 6 is fantastic. This means that Pakal here can actually deploy, and as long as he doesn't roll a 5, or a 2, or a 1, then we're fine. Okay, a 3 is exactly good enough. So, very well. Kayla. I think she's going to come down here to Pakal and Allison. This will put her at 1 health. But she has 3 dice, and her ability to heal might mean that we can ignore H high for now. The PCA errors are terrible, but I think this is still the best choice. All we need is 1 5 or better, and there it is. We can reduce her stress, which is certainly beneficial. And let's put some research in. We could give her 1 extra die, but I think we'll hold on to the research for now. We're going to take 1 dice on all of our characters, which hurts a lot, and everybody loses 1 health.
Mission arrived. Not from Earth, but from Mars. From Tharsis. An impossible signal from an impossible source. Is this what we're searching for? Who's transmitting this signal? Was there another mission to Mars? One sent before ours? Or is the message coming from someone else?
It could very well be. As far as we know, there are no humans on Mars, so this is highly suspicious. Allison and Pakal are not doing very well. They're both stressed, and they're both low on health. We can't take any more sloppiness. We have to protect ourselves while we're working. That is very true, and this would give us assists, which we know we're going to need. I know it's selfish, but I need to be healed. +2 health for Kayla, -1 for the ship, which is still in a really good position, relatively speaking. Holy shit, I'm so hungry. Anything will do at any cost. This kills Jean, but it grants us 2 food. Not choosing this option also stresses out everybody. Pakal and Allison would not enjoy this, but it wouldn't kill them. It might kill them on the next decision, but it won't kill them right now. However, this would also mean that we lose Jean's ability and the 1 die that she always carries around. The ship could stand to lose a health, and healing Kayla is fairly beneficial. 2 assists would also be very beneficial, and either of these 2 options stress everybody out. 2 food is 6 dice. This would also allow us to cannibalize Jean. Can we survive 6 weeks without Jean? I'm not sure. Our ability to overcome events is very greatly diminished by our lack of dice. Even if we get assists, everybody still only has 1 die. Even if Kayla gets 2 health, she is unable to overcome events. I think for the benefit of us all, we have to kill Jean. We have to allow Jean to die, and she will not be hungry anymore. We could try to progress 6 full weeks of events, basically gaining no dice. Or we could heal Kayla, which doesn't seem like a terribly good option. I think this is still the only real call. Sorry about that, Jean. But now we have some delicious Jean steaks. Kayla and Allison have already tasted the long pig, so I think they get the food. But Kayla here is less beneficial than healing the ship or being able to overcome events. Allison is certainly getting a lot of dice. How the rest of this distributes is in question. For Jean, we get 3 dice per steak and still only 1 maximum health loss. In this case, food and Jean steak is pretty much the same thing. So I think the way that we do it is we reduce Pakal's health, and we give Kayla the ability to overcome events with no further health loss. Everybody's in a decent position except Jean. She's steak. And unfortunately, we have an event right on our doorstep. Everyone is in this module. On the other hand, there are no injury die here. And Kayla can heal people up. So we'll deploy Kayla here. Roll all of her bloody dice. Nom 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 nom. And a 4 is good enough to put towards this. We'll re-roll everything else. And that is distinctly better. A 6 and a 5 and a 6 heals everyone. Great job, Kayla. Now, what else do we need? We can technically survive 1 health loss. We can survive 1 dice loss. But if we get somebody over to this blocked hatch, we can't survive the health loss. So I think the way to do this is Pakal has to do this high H thing. Maybe. Everybody's really low of health. If we don't deal with this blocked hatch, we take 2 damage and our ship is half dead from its current point. So we might be able to actually leave that one alone. If we overcome this event, which is fairly low, we can heal somebody up. If we do this one, we can potentially get some food. Each of our people has 4 dice available. So who do we want to heal? Probably Allison. So let's give it a shot. Okay, we can't re-roll this 3, so I think the way that we do this is 6 and 5 and 3 and get something better here that's not a 2. Well, I guess a 1 can still be put into research. This gives us plus 3 dice for 1 crew. And that's distinctly great. If Pakal can overcome this event and also get our ship a little bit more healthy, that would be fantastic. Well, we did get a 6 and a 5, and we have 18 points. Unfortunately, this doesn't really do what I want it to do. We're not going to be able to harvest food, and I think we have to do that. As long as we don't roll less than 3 total, well, that's a little lot of poor. So that was ill-advised. I probably should have taken advantage of the dice hole, put the 6 and the 5 in there. The only thing this is really good for at this point is research. Yes. Okay, but we overcame the event. Our ship is going to take 2 damage. But that's it. Everybody still has a fair amount of dice.
It's designed for the Iktomi. Nobody has them but us. So who are they? And where did they get them?
Well, the Iktomi has them. I think this provides a potential answer. All right, Kayla. I know it's not popular, but we have to sacrifice a little to get some more food. This would provide -1 dice for all the crew, meaning it would cost us 3 to get a food, which gives us 3. This option gains us nothing. We could harm our ship to reduce our stress. You all need to just breath. It's probably supposed to be breathe. Let's stop and just relax for a minute. It will pay off in the long run. Pakal here has a different idea. What I wouldn't give for a drink of pure rainwater and free-range chicken to heal my strength. Yes, we must heal. This is actually fairly true. It does harm the ship, which would take it down to 1 health, meaning we would have to overcome this event and anything else that crops up. But it would heal Pakal by 1. I don't think it's worth it, especially considering this would stress everybody out. Pakal is not in a good place. He is max stress. But we have 5 weeks left to go. If we don't deal with this situation, our ship dies. If we deal with this situation, somebody probably dies. If we send Pakal over there and he rolls a 4, he's instantly dead. Either of these two characters that goes over there and rolls 2 4s is dead. So I think this is the only option that doesn't actually hurt the most. We do have a food left over, and we can eat some tasty gene steaks. Everybody's at the same health, yes? Okay, so it doesn't matter who we give what to. But we do absolutely need to overcome all of the events that crop up. This actually puts us in a really bad position. We have to deal with these 3 events in a row. We have to deal with the blocked hatch, the HAS fail, and the grav control damage. We have 2 ship health. Any one of these events will kill us unless we can also heal the ship. This 1 damage will not technically kill us. Allison can't move, and she might die. Our doctor can't get to the blocked hatch without taking some damage and also probably dying. So how do we do this? Well, our mechanic has to deal with this event because if he moves, he's dead. On the other hand, Kayla could go there and try to deal with the situation so that Pakal can move. Pakal can only move to places that kill him. So we deploy Pakal here and don't roll more than 1-1. Okay, our 2 is in stasis, and we have 19 points. The 6, the 5, and the 5 are great. The 2 can't be re-rolled. And we'll re-roll this 1. Not into another 1. But we didn't overcome the event, and it's in stasis. So that's fine. We could have not given away one of our food and used this energy boost, which would probably have been a better idea. However, we are now guaranteed to die this turn. We have 2 remaining people, and we can only deal with 2 situations. We're guaranteed to take 3 damage, basically, and that kills us, unless we can repair the ship. We can repair the ship in maintenance here, as long as whoever does it doesn't die. We can heal by up to 3, I believe. We would have to reduce this number. We would need 2 people on this to do it. If we healed 3 points, we would still need to overcome 3 pips. I'm pretty sure we are actually legit dead. So, let's try this. Allison is going to take a damage. And if she rolls a 4, she is actually dead as well. And we don't get to use any of her dice. Oh, that's a 4. That was exactly what you needed to not roll. We don't really have anything that gives us an assist. And now we are certainly dead. Is there any way that we can do this? No. One way that we could have done this was for Kayla to go to flight control. And then Allison wouldn't have been able to overcome this event and we would have taken too much damage. Nobody could get to the laboratory. Or laboratory. So, Kayla, I'm sorry, but you're probably also going to die. I'm pretty sure this turn doesn't matter. We could not have actually won. So, our ship is going to die. Pakal goes down with our food storage. And the string holding our ship together has been snapped. All of our modules will float off into space, and Pakal is certainly dead. This is a sad day for the Iktomi. And this kind of calls into question who actually sent that transmission, because the Iktomi is now dead. We have gotten a score. 595 is not terribly good. We survived 6 turns, completed 20 events, got some research. All of our crew died. We ate 6 human meals. And we were quite stressed out. So yeah, Tharsis is kind of a brutal game. Some of these unlockable characters might help in this endeavor. Giving assists might be good, but who do you replace? Are we actually close to any unlocks? Not particularly, unless I beat the game. So there we have Tharsis. There are some missions coming soon, theoretically, and I'm pretty excited about those. I've actually been having a lot of fun with this game, though it is quite difficult, at least in my opinion. It's also very fun. I really like dice-based games. And once or twice, I've actually had the fortune for the game to go easy on me. And I've made it to the very last round, but couldn't get everyone onto Mars. It was a sad day. Oh, well. I hope you've enjoyed this look at Tharsis. And we'll see you in the next video.